Yeah. We are back live in Studio 225.
I am Akron, Churches Radio, Flow Radio. Your boy DC.
It's your boy Jerome.
It's your boy Chris, man.
It's 20 G's.
And we have a very special guest in the building.
Very special
this
guest.
This guy
in this building, man.
Was signed.
If you ever believe in any motherfucking thing, believe what the fuck I'm telling you today. And what my comrades gonna tell you. Cause all that goddamn shit is true, man.
Yeah. But yeah, this guy right here, man, he was signed to Bad Boy Entertainment in the mid to late 90s, coming from the city of Akron, Ohio. I'm gonna let him introduce himself.
Yeah, man, because if y'all don't already know, man, like, you know what I'm saying, y'all should be jumping off y'all motherfucking seats and like doing the dances from back in the day, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody should have on baggy clothes and, you know what I'm saying? It should take you back, man.
Yeah, that joint just felt real nostalgic. It felt good, man. We got in the building.
Man. Yeah, man, Mr. Jerome Childers himself, man.
Yeah, Jerome Childers.
Yeah, man, AKA Lil Jerome, right?
Lil Jerome, yeah.
Yeah, man. Back in the day, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
Man. How's life, man?
It's good.
It's good, man. Hell yeah, definitely.
Love it.
Yeah, man. Glad you came, man. You know what I'm saying? I know we had a little couple hiccups. We was going to up doing over the Skype or whatever. I mean, Zoom, right? Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think he messaged me and I was like, okay. All right, so he gave me his number, and I was thinking you just give me your contact.
Right.
So that's why I texted you, and I was like, okay, cool. We'll meet up. And I was going to just do like a phone thing, but I was like, wait a minute, he gave me his location. I was like, whoa, I gotta call this dude. Like,
right, hold on, wait a minute. Yeah.
And so we eventually got, and I realized you like right down the street. So I was like,
yeah, man, that was great, man. It was good to have you here, man.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because you know you could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with us. So.
Live in Studio 225.
Yeah, man. So let's get into the initial interview, man.
How did you get started singing?
Yeah.
Who inspired you?
I think it was my dad because he was always doing music and stuff. He even said that he's doing a lot of music when I was in the womb. He's like, yeah, Jerome, you probably heard that stuff. He's doing all kinds of, like Wonder and all kinds of stuff. He's always playing the piano, and he showed me songs that he sang. He used to be in a group called High Fidelity. So.
Okay. That's dope.
Yeah. So, but yeah, he used to do a lot of music, and I just kind of, it's like I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. So, but I think it really started when I noticed that that something was different was when But it's kind of weird. I was about 3 or 4 years old, so I sleep in his room because you know how it is. He's got those monsters there.
It's like, oh man, I want to come in here with y'all.
I sleep in his room right next to him, and he's listening to a female singer called Lita Adams. When she sings a song called "Get Here," and she had an album, and he used to listen to it back and forth. He didn't really know all the words, but I listened to it for a few times, and hear him singing it, and I knew every single word to every single song. He's like, okay, well, yeah, that's a little weird,
Right, for a kid, right?
For a kid to know that
3 years old, 4 years old.
Yeah. And then the second time was like, I think I went to a daycare, and they heard me singing and everything. Like, yeah, why don't you can really sing? When they first heard me sing, and so I sung in a Christmas show.
Okay.
Like a Christmas event, and I sung on Silent Night. I think there's another guy that sung along with me too, but after I got done singing, they gave me a standing ovation. So
I
was like 8 years old.
The crowd going crazy.
Yeah, that's what I knew something different.
Okay.
So I started singing songs, and my dad was like, okay. We're gonna start sending tapes up to just to see what happens. So he sent some tapes up to like New York and stuff, and we caught the ear of a management team called Brown Was a Black Tree.
Okay.
Yes, it was and Sean Brown, but unfortunately they just passed away like about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, man, sorry to hear.
Rest in peace for him, but they, they sent the tapes. I was singing Nat King Cole's. They tried to tell We're Too Young. It's a classic song.
Yeah.
And they in our consultant at Sony. He saw the video. He's like, wait a minute, I got to bring him up here. So I went up to the showcase. Long story short, I performed. My sisters, 4 Shades and Nelly, they performed too. So
okay.
But, Puffy's people saw it, and then Puffy called my house, man. Yeah, so Puppy called my house and was like, yeah.
Calls your crib, yeah. So how did that feel, man? So like, was it like one of those? He had people call, or he like directly called the house?
No, he called the house.
What year is this?
This is probably, I say, 95, 96.
You were like what, 10, 11?
Yeah, I was about 9.
9, yeah, 9 a year, yep.
Yeah, 9 to 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so but anyways, yeah, he called the house and like, and he didn't know that we was about to actually go up there ourselves. But he's like, yeah, we want to fire you up there, so we didn't tell him. Yeah, so,
Right. Oh yeah.
and so he pulls up there, and he was about to go home. We thought nothing would happen. We went to a little bad boy picnic, but nothing really happened. But the day before we went over, we was going home. He called us over to the Daddy's House studio.
Okay.
Yeah, and I sung about 4 songs, and he's like, yeah, I want to sign him now, man.
Oh yeah, that's great. That's great.
That's dope. Now, was there any pushback or anything from your parents signing with Bad Boy at the time? Because I know that was like right in the middle of the East Coast West Coast beef.
It really wasn't, because I think what it was is that we were going to sign with Sony, but Sony was talking about like a development deal, and we was like, well, because sometimes with those development deals,
right,
we had a
couple of years,
we heard a lot of rumors about development deals never really panning out.
Right, yeah.
So he's like, no, we want somebody that's legitimate. So Puffy was really, really big at the time.
Yeah.
And plus, I was a kid, and they was really big and adamant about, we protecting him. He ain't going nowhere without us.
Oh yeah, definitely. Was there anybody else, any other labels other than Sony and Bad Boy?
It might have been some people interested, but that's the main
ones who were giving you the looking at.
There's other people that were interested, because at the showcase, there's a lot of people that really, really liked the performance I did, but he was the main one that called. So.
No shit. So at the showcase, what did you perform again?
I think I performed "Broken Hearted" by.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Brandy.
Yeah.
What else? I think I performed. Shoot by
Shoot.
By Whitney Houston.
What venue were you at?
Yeah, we ain't no sinker, so
I think it was like right next to Daddy's house, because this guy named Ron Gregory, he also passed away. So so
only thing about growing up, man.
Yeah. So but he had a showcase where he would just have talent, and he had me singing there, and it was like right next to his Daddy's house, and every time I come in there, he always, he have people sing, but he always end with me singing. Just
that's dope. So. Was there any other like young celebrities up and coming, stars or anything in the showcase with you? Anybody who ended up making a name?
Not really. It did seem like I was really one of the only ones out there. There was a couple of people that were coming up, but never really panned out. They're kind of just like me, but I think the main ones that are really well known are the ones that were already established.
Right.
Tevin Campbell and people like that, and later on people like Lil Bow Wow and Justin Bieber and those type of people.
Right. Yeah. Pretty much you pioneered part of that movement.
Yeah. Really good.
Oh, thank you. But after that, it seemed like a couple of people kind of came out like right after me, after I got released.
Right.
People may remember him more than they remember me, Sammy.
Sammy. Sammy.
You kind of ushered that in though.
Yeah, because he it is. I was like, dang, it's like similar, but I think did his album like really come out like his whole full album? I think that's why they remember him.
I think it did come out, and then he came out later on, years later.
Right.
With another album.
Yeah, with his own solo type.
It didn't. I don't think his first album really.
Yeah, I'm not for sure though. I mean, don't quote me on it.
Okay.
You said your sister was in a band, or not a band, but in a group too, right? 4 Shades of Ebony.
Yeah, 4 Shades of Ebony. They had a group called 4 Shades of Ebony, and they did a lot of songs, by different female groups like Escape, a couple of different type of groups, and plus of them sometimes they would just do the background of different songs.
Oh, okay.
I did Monica Before You Walk Out of My Life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that was actually a song one of the songs I sung at.
Oh, okay. In the showcase.
In the showcase.
Yeah.
I'm not in the showcase, but for Puffy actually.
Oh yeah, dope.
Yeah, I sung Before You Walk Out of My Life. I sung a song called Joyful Joyful.
Joyful, yeah.
I sung a gospel song called Storms of Life Will Blow. It's kind of like a cover of, I think it's Yolanda Adams.
Okay.
And there's another song I sung. Oh yeah, did I say Stevie Wonder's Stay Gold?
No.
Yeah, Stevie Wonder, Stay Gold.
Yeah, you did a remake recently, right?
Yeah, I just did that on. I put it on YouTube. YouTube's not doing that well, but TikTok's doing pretty well, and so is Instagram. So those are the ones I'm rocking with right now.
Okay.
That's dope. Now, when you first met Puffy, were you starstruck? I know you were kind of young, but
Actually, I didn't even know who he was, and it's a funny story because, he actually asked me, he's like, "Do you know who I am?" And I was like, "Yeah, you Biggie's dancer, ain't you?" He's like,
"Hey, say the darndest things."
and the whole studio kind of had to laugh. I was like, "Okay, what they laughing at?" Yeah.
Gotta love kids.
That's where I saw him. I saw.
He's all in the videos.
No, I didn't even see him on the video. I just saw him. I saw Biggie performing. Biggie performing on stage, and I saw Puffy on the stage.
Right. So it's like, I just thought, he got to be, yep. It's like that.
That was right.
Yeah.
Said,
leave that one alone. Don't touch that one.
Right.
I ain't trying to get killed.
Right.
Coming out here.
We don't know none of that. No, but yeah. So, your sister, did they, other than like Monica, is there any other placements, or did they, that was their biggest?
The thing is, we was trying to get them on, after I came out, but I never came out.
Right.
Okay.
And unfortunately, they ended up breaking up and going their separate ways, like a lot of groups do.
It happens.
They all got families and stuff like
that. Right. Everybody doing good?
Yeah, everybody doing good.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah, my sister has a daughter in Georgia. She moved to Georgia.
Okay.
Yeah. Daughter, Naya Simone Scott.
Oh, yeah.
Your sister, Naya. Love you, niece.
Hey.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out to Naya. But yeah, I think she turned 15. She might be 15, 16.
Yeah, man, kids grow up so fast.
They go so fast. It's just, I remember when she first came to, when she first brought her here, I think Shell sat her down. My sister Michelle. And she sat her down, and then I saw her sitting on the couch. I was like, that is the most beautiful baby. She literally looks like a China doll.
Oh, yeah.
She was so pretty and beautiful.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
The prettiest baby ever. But yeah, I just loved her. She had these little cheeks. And I want to tell you, so I hope she don't get mad at me for this story.
Right,
I gotta tell this story because it is hilarious. It is hilarious, man. Because my mom went into the room one time. My mom just kind of went by her room, and so. And so, that girl came out, and she's like literally 3 or 4 years old, and she told her, she's like, "Don't go in my room."
Oh yeah.
And my mom was here. My mom was like,
"Girl, you know who you talking to?"
I can go in your room if I want to. She's like, "Don't make me mad." My mom was like, "I ain't scared either." Like, you ain't scared? She's like, she was so dumb, man. So she's funny, but the stuff that she would say was just so,
Right.
She's really smart. Really smart.
Oh yeah.
My sister don't play though. She
right. Yeah.
She kept her alive.
Yeah, that's great, man. Because the world is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Got to have good parenting, man. So yeah, I'm gonna clap it up for that. You know what I'm saying? One time. Yeah, definitely.
I got one question too. Since we were just talking about Biggie, and you said when you met Puff, your initial thought was he was one of Biggie's dancers.
Right.
Did you ever get a chance to meet Biggie?
Yeah, that's a crazy story, man. Because me and my dad, we were going into the studio, and then when we were passing by, I was like, "Who's that dude?" He's a big guy, so he had that kind of like big, like bottle,
Right.
And he's kind of just laying there, and we was like, "That's big," But we went into the studio and was planning on formally meeting him, but when we came back out, he had left, and so we never formally met him. And then we went back home. I think it was like 2 or 3 months later, we got that call, and Biggie had
passed,
shot,
right? Yeah.
So he passed away. So we never got to formally meet him, unfortunately, but we did see him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah,
B.I.G. man.
I know probably hanging around like Bad Boy Studios and stuff. He probably came across some pretty good studio sessions and met a lot of people, man.
Yeah, it really was a dream. It's like, okay, this ain't supposed to happen, but it's happening to me, and this is all I know.
Right, as a child.
It's really like my life is a fantasy, and I have no other experience because that's my first experiences. I was like 8 or 9.
Right. Yeah.
So,
when you left here, right? You went to what school did you go to here, Miller South?
Yeah. I started off. I went to Schumacher Academy. That was my elementary school, and I was supposed to go to Perkins like everybody else, but I just decided to go to Miller South. So because this is a performing arts school. So
that was a smart
move, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you learned a lot. Learned about music. You had other people there that were talented. It was a pretty good school, and plus, you weren't kind of put in a position where you felt like things were unsafe or anything.
Right.
You just felt
you can come do your thing, be talented.
Be talented. So.
Yeah. So how was it like switching over, coming to New York and being in school?
I think switching over to New York was not really that good at first because when you first start off, when you going from Akron, Ohio, and then going up to New York, when you're in Manhattan, there's no kids there. Plus, because around here we got the trees, we got the
there's no trees, there's no grass,
we got the oxygen. There's no trees, no grass, no kids. It's rainy. There's not a lot of sun, so it was really really boring, and things were going very very slow at the time. So but big ups to Harvey Pierre because things didn't pick up until he came there.
Okay, shout out to Harvey Pierre.
When he came there, my album really started moving.
Okay,
so he really pushed it. So
okay, well, how were you treated by other Bad Boy artists when you got over there?
Amazing, man. They were really nice people. All of them were really nice people. Especially Faith Evans. I really
shout out to Faith Evans. I love Faith. One time Faith Evans.
Definitely.
I have her in mind.
Give her a large clap.
I have her in my phone, man.
Oh yeah, great.
I literally have her in my phone, I was trying to contact her on like Twitter and stuff. So
definitely.
And she's like, Jerome, hey, how you doing? She gave me her number. Awesome. I have her number on my phone. Every now and then I text her and she calls and she responds.
Oh yeah, man, that's good. Man.
That is not a lot of people.
Won't do that. Yeah.
Nice person, and she was always nice, because I used to love her, man. I used to when she came out with Ain't Nobody. Ain't Nobody. I used to love that. Yeah. And when I met her, I just told her I was a big fan, and I think it must have been Puffy hooked me up, hooked up a phone call with her, and she was like, I was just so excited to talk to her. Oh yeah, she's real nice. So I'm really flattered, and so she's a real nice person. And when I got released, after I kind of had a little bit of breakdown after losing my voice and stuff like that.
Right.
I was just excessively crying. I was mentally unresponsive. Mm-hmm. But eventually they decided to release me because I think a little kid having a breakdown, that's not good.
Right. Yeah. Growing pains and
growing pains too.
I was seeing the world.
Yeah, I was going through puberty too.
Yeah.
Right.
So you know how that is when your mind start going out a lot of whack when you got puberty and you start having those not behavioral issues, but just everything is coming in. You know how it is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like when I got released, she was really the only one to call. She called and she was like, okay. She called and was like, how you doing and all that everything. She's asking me about my writing or something. It's kind of like at the hotel somewhere. She asked little questions here and there. It wasn't a very strong conversation,
but just enough to keep you afloat.
Just kind of a little question about what's going on, but she's a good person. She really is.
Do you? What were you saying?
Oh no.
Do you remember the moment where you just felt like, man, this is overwhelming, man, this is too much right now, I'm ready to just walk away from it? And if you do and feel like explaining it, could you describe it?
Well, it wasn't really a moment, I think it was all together because what I truly think is that as bad things start to happen, I really feel like because I had such an amazing life, like I said, I really feel like my whole life was a fantasy. And it's like an experience that, if you don't know the difference between the two, if you don't know that life ain't supposed to be this way, it can really trick you.
Yeah.
Your mind up. Yeah. So when bad stuff started happening, girl broke up with me, I was sad about that. I was really depressed about that. You can't get that back. Once you break up with you, it's over.
Oh, yeah.
It's over. It's over. You can't go back and get it. And that was right before we, get that relationship back. And when I came, that was right before we went up to New York. I was sad about that. Then my voice clocked out. All of a sudden, I could not sing. I mean, it's really like, singing like this. People be like, what is going on?
Right.
And it was real stressful. People was, running around. We sit up here trying to figure out what to do because, I can't perform and everybody want me to perform. So I had to lip sync.
Okay. Yeah.
ET Soundstage, I had to lip sync. I had to perform at a lot of places. I had to lip sync. So it was real stressful. People were telling me to perform, and we had to call the vocal coach down there.
Right.
Kenny Hicks. He's kind of known in our business as a vocal coach.
Okay.
So he had to come and say no, he's not singing. So and I was actually going through voice problems with I Never Dreamed of Leaving Summer, but he coached me through it. So I got through it.
Okay. Yeah.
Speaking of that record, I Never Dreamed You Leaving Summer. That's one of my favorite Stevie Wonder records.
Yeah.
It was on the Belly soundtrack.
Belly.
That's one of my favorite movies and one of my favorite soundtracks.
Yeah,
Drop a
we
bomb, right?
definitely we drop a bomb. You know what I'm saying? We clap it up. You know what I'm saying?
You definitely did a great remake of the record. How did that come about, and do you know how it ended up landing on the
getting
Belly
placed.
soundtrack?
No, I really don't. I think we did because when you in a music company, they do that stuff for you. This is
Okay.
good about a music company. You still doing that stuff on your own is very hard because in a music company they got organizations for each
Right,
part.
getting everything done.
You
Yeah.
want the graphics, you got the photo shoots, you got the magazines. It's thousands of people in that organization pushing it for you. While you just go in there, you record your music in the studio, they do the rest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
I still push music. I still push music companies because it's way easier as an artist, but at the same time, you have to really take control of your music because the people at the top, they push the money, but not the music. So you have to have control over your music if you want to.
Yeah, if you want to do something. Yeah,
You
man.
need to know how to write and produce. And the good thing about that is when I really didn't want to sing anymore because my voice was acting up, I learned how to write and how to produce. So that was
That's good. That's a good thing.
Message.
Say that.
Yeah. Say before we get into a song or whatever, I got a couple questions I wanted to ask anyways that we probably skipped over. Like, okay, so the budget, right, for the video, your very first video, you had
old for me, yeah.
you had Penny Hardaway, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm
From
saying?
Total,
You had Toto as your
Puffy
love
pulling up in a
interest.
Bentley
like, you know what I'm
or
saying?
whatever.
Yeah, Puffy in a blue Bentley.
Remixed
like, you know
it
what
with
I'm saying?
Noriega. When
Yeah, it came back
98
with the
when Nori
remix,
was
was sitting in the
one of
passenger
hottest
seat
niggas
with
in the
Nori.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I feel like y'all had a high budget over there for that. They pulled all stops out, it seemed like.
Yeah, that was just a video, man. The video. I mean, we don't know about the exact pricing, but what we do know is that we were in the office of Bad Boy, and they just came back and told us that Clive Davis was a Arista. He was over.
Yeah.
Name drop.
They said that Clive Davis gave Puffy $50 million
Opened the door. Yeah.
for my project before I was gonna come out.
Yeah.
Gave Puffy $50 million
For your
Right.
project?
for my project to do the project in
Yeah.
order to
Yeah, make it happen.
So you know what it was,
Yeah,
man.
bro.
I know
Man,
that,
seen
that
something.
video did not
There
cost
was a Bentley.
$50 million. So
Hey,
where's
well,
the rest of the motherfucker?
There was a
Hey,
Bentley.
we ain't gonna get into that. That's
Yeah.
We
something.
don't even get into that.
We just know
Well,
if
I'm pretty
that
sure-
man
I'm pretty
Clive
sure he
Davis
get-
believed in you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he gave it back. I'm pretty sure Clive Davis wanted it back, because
Yeah.
those
Right.
people are businessmen. That's
Yeah,
not
you're right. They give
don't
it to
just-
you, but
yeah,
they won't.
they-
Yeah, you don't just run off with it.
That's an investment. You don't
Yeah.
that stuff just don't,
Right.
get swept under the
I'm saying,
table,
like,
So,
I don't know how much it costs to
Yeah, so-
be able to stand on top of the Apollo sign
Yeah, it's,
and dance, but
Yeah.
like, I
you
feel
gotta
like
you gotta look at it as an investment too, because when you paying that money, when they're paying that money for you to come out, it's when the album sells.
yeah,
you
they're
gotta,
trying to recoup.
yeah, you got to pay that money back before you get any.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't know that the artist goes through most of the work.
Right.
And they get paid the least
Yeah,
percentage.
the least of anything.
Yeah, it's the writers and the producers that get
yeah,
paid.
it's getting all of the money. Yeah, yeah.
And they got that mailbox money. You just sit back and collect the money in the mailbox.
Coming, yeah,
Live your life.
residuals.
And that's kind of like what I want to do. I want to use my voice to get in, but to give me that edge. But
Right.
full time, I really want to do the behind the scenes work so I can
Yeah.
live my life. Because
That's where the money at, man.
Yeah. That makes sense. Was it okay? So did you meet Penny Hardaway during the shoot?
yeah, I did. It wasn't a serious meeting, but I just shook his hand.
He didn't have little Penny, did he?
Little bit.
Yeah, the little
doll?
doll. Remember he run around with the little basketball doll?
Yeah. To be honest, I was so young. I wasn't into sports, that much at that
As
time.
a child, yeah.
So I was like, that's Penny Hardaway. Yeah.
That's Penny
Shout
Hardaway.
out to Penny Hardaway.
Right.
That's one of my favorite.
Okay, so who did get you starstruck out here and when you met him?
Yeah, well, the one that really starstruck me was Jennifer Lopez.
Okay.
Because when, yeah, so
She's still hot fire.
yeah.
Time for J-Lo.
You can clap for him.
It's really
She ages like fine wine.
yeah. It's really funny the experience, because when we was in the studio, me and my dad would sit up there like, okay, and then she come up to my dad and was like, hey, how you doing? And I was like, oh, that girl looked familiar, but she had her hair in a bun, and you didn't even know who she was. So then I started thinking, I tapped my dad. I was like, Dad, that's Jennifer Lopez. He's like, no, it ain't. It's like, yes, it is.
Yes,
It is
it
Jennifer
is.
Lopez.
I know J Lo.
And so we realized
Said,
that was
"Dang, J-Lo."
Jennifer Lopez. You know, when they were dating each other, that
Right.
came around. So,
Okay. Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, but
I always forget that.
were dating.
Yeah, they was dating. Yeah.
Yeah, but the funny experience is when I was in the studio, I'm sitting there, like, he said, you know, she's sitting there looking around, and I'm sitting there staring at her, 'cause she's Jennifer Lopez, and then she turned around, and I turned my head like this, you know. that happened like 4 or 5 times. Now, she probably thought that was so cute, but I was like,
look at him.
oh, that's something to see.
Yeah, but I got a crush on you, ladies. Listen here.
Yeah,
That's
you
what I was
know,
thinking.
yeah, Mariah Carey. You know, I met her a couple times. Met her in the
that's dope.
studio.
Oh man,
Hell yeah.
You clap it up one time for Mariah.
Oh, we definitely.
Then I went to Puffy's party. I think his birthday party was like 30. I think he turned 30. And you know, I was just there for a little while. I mean, I didn't stay long.
Right. So I was young.
They had girls dancing in the bar, dancing in the dance.
Right.
Like these little glass walls
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Had champagne lined across the whole
Right.
back of the wall and stuff like that. Donald Trump was there. I didn't see Donald Trump.
Oh wow.
I met Derek Jeter.
Damn.
Yeah. And then Mariah Carey came up to me, and she's so beautiful. But we have a picture of her, and she's like, "Hey, how you doing? I heard your songs, and I really like them." So I was like, "Damn."
Oh, that's dope. Yeah.
So that first single really had legit meaning to you.
Yeah,
huh?
man. That
Yeah.
shit was
Yeah,
fire,
man.
man. Yeah, definitely.
Well, I'm getting.
I'm looking at the screen. I'm looking at Heavy D. I know that you work with Heavy D.
Yeah, did a lot of work
man.
with Heavy D, right?
He
R.I.P.
was-
Heavy D. What was it like working with him?
He was so nice. I mean, he was really like the nicest person that you could ever meet. He was so nice and such a charismatic person, you know.
Right, yeah.
My dad, he always talking about when he be coming down the hall, you know, first thing Heavy D be like, you know, can I get a pen? What's up, player? You know, can I get a pimp? You know, he do stuff like that. You know,
Right,
he's like a pimp, you know, or something like that.
Right.
He do stuff like that. He gave me a PlayStation.
Oh, yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
He's a nice person, real nice person. It's real sad.
First
PlayStation or the second one?
I think it's PS2. Yeah.
Oh,
Black
yeah.
one, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sad thing about it is it got stolen, man. Got stolen. Yeah, we went into our apartment and we realized that things were weird. It's like all of a sudden I realized, wait a minute, my bag wasn't like that. My book bag wasn't like that.
Oh,
Stuff
yeah.
was all dragged up, but everything else was folded. So that's how he got away with it.
Right.
Anyways, we started looking around. We noticed that PS2 was gone, camera was gone. I took a picture of Monica. That was gone.
Oh, man, terrible.
So I was going through some stuff then too. I was like, oh my God, what else can happen? 'Cause my voice wasn't acting right. So that was another thing that was going on. So
Yeah, so the voice issue, man. Online, I was reading, they said acid reflux,
yeah,
puberty, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. You know, we really to this day don't know for sure, but you know, when I really got diagnosed, I actually came back here to get diagnosed because we were going through all kinds of doctors. And I don't know what it is with those doctors in New York, but you know, all they do is they just sell the money and they just feed you a bunch of pills and they don't really diagnose you. And so he just fed me a whole bunch of pills, I had all kinds of sniffers and everything, and I was like, none of this stuff is working. They gave me a penicillin shot, none of that worked.
Where was you living at the time?
We was in New York. We
In New
lived
York,
in New
at
York.
first. Yeah.
But it wasn't until I came back and I had a good doctor here
Right.
in Akron that he told me that, yeah, you have reflux, because what it does is that sometimes reflux is not heartburn. You don't know that you have it. Sometimes it can just be like a spit up, kind of like almost like you're about to burp or belch.
Right, yeah.
Or spit up a little bit, but you swallow it. But
Been there, bro.
Yeah, but at times it can
Yeah.
go into your throat.
Damage your esophagus.
Damage your
It's
esophagus.
your stomach acid.
Yeah.
Saying
Right.
coming
But
back up to your esophagus.
Yeah.
Like that's,
A lot of people probably have it, but they don't notice
Yeah,
it.
they
They're
don't know
not
what it
singers.
is. Think it's heartburn. Or,
Yeah,
so-
and so when it's at the back of your throat, it thickens your vocal cords and makes it very hard to sing. So I
They said,
got yours.
They said Michael Jackson and Tevin Campbell experienced similar shit when they were
Yeah.
teenagers singing. They voices both.
yeah, took a drastic change.
Yeah, because they were grown up. It's puberty.
Yeah, because I didn't have a normal voice change. It wasn't just like crack. Okay, it gets lower. I mean, it was just like it was just all of a sudden I could not sing at all. So, because when I went to the doctors, he's like, looking at his vocal cords, his voice has already changed. So they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So it must have been reflux.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. Can we go ahead and get into a joint real quick, and then we'll bring it back to the interview. We have Jerome Childers in the building.
Yeah, man. If y'all got some questions, make sure y'all send it to us now, man.
Yeah,
Start tapping in and get us with those questions.
Live, let us hear something.
Yeah, we playing right now. We're gonna get into this. I Never Dreamed You Leave in Summertime off the Belly soundtrack. Let's get it.
Turn that
R&B.
That sounded good.
Yeah, man, we back in this mug. Live at 225 studio. You know what I'm saying? We in this mug. Still got the motherfucking legendary.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Jerome
Young
Childers. Clap it
pioneer.
one time for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Those last two joints you just heard was Never Dreamed You Leave in Summer and also Crush on You, both by Jerome Childers. Now, that last joint, Crush on You, I understand, was written by Kelly Price and produced by Stevie J and Mario Winans. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you talk a little bit about how that song came about and what the session was like?
Right. Yeah, that should be epic, right?
The major session was actually the one that Kelly Price wrote for me before, because that's actually the first song I did. She wrote a song called "If You Need Me," which is a gospel song that was supposed to be on a gospel album, but it never panned out. Faith Evans was on it and some other artists, but it never got released. But anyways, we was down there right when she wrote that song, and she's writing it for me, like writing it down, and she had a little tape and she's singing the melody into it. She's a really good writer.
Oh yeah,
she has some amazing harmonies. Her voice is just out of this world.
Oh yeah,
Amazing.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, I think that song she did, "Tired." Y'all need to look that up, man. She can sing.
Oh,
She
yeah.
sings that song.
She sang.
Yeah,
She sang everything.
Yeah,
But anyway,
definitely.
She's definitely a good writer and got good harmonies.
Yeah.
As far as Crush on You is concerned, when I finally got to when I finally went to the to the studio and they started talking about Crush on You and they showed me the song and started I was like, yeah, this is pretty cool, and it's crazy because I had a crush on a girl at that time. Right?
Oh yeah.
And it was like saying everything I wanted to say, and I was like, that is so crazy.
That is perfect, right?
Perfect, absolutely perfect. But, so when I first sung it, that's the one y'all first heard, but I actually did another version right before, I think right before, I think it was right after Too Old for Me.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think, and I also did a song called How Could You Leave Me? That was pretty good. It turned out good. I think Mario Winans, he produced it, but 112 wrote it.
Yeah, wrote on it.
Okay, yeah.
Remember that song?
He's in the background, right?
Yeah, he's in the
on
background.
Yeah, yep.
But I did another version of it too, and I released it on YouTube. Y'all can check that out too. I also released Keisha from Teddy Riley.
Yeah.
So I did that song too. I just released a few. I don't want to release too much. I'm glad I didn't get too many views, because they could come after you for that. But even if they did, it would be just okay, well, I'm not getting any money from it, so
right. Yeah, I'm just trying to.
I was just appeasing my followers because a lot of people wanted to hear it, and I thought it was good music. So like, okay, why not?
Right.
Why not just release a couple songs? So.
So that was one of your more memorable recording sessions. What was that one you just like?
Was there any
just
terrible?
Want to forget, but you just can't. Every once in a while, you be like, "Oh my god!"
Or like, have you ever been in a session with somebody that you thought it was going to be a good session and ended up not being so great?
There was a producer. He's a famous producer, but
you don't know. We don't have to say no names. You don't have to say no names.
But yeah, I was sitting up there. The thing is that we were sitting up there, waiting for a long time for him to come into the studio. He's calling us to come into the studio, and we were waiting for him to call us anyway. And we were sitting there for literally like 10, 12 hours. Right?
Oh man.
And sitting in that hotel. And then we finally got there. We had to take off our shoes and everything. So take off our shoes. So we got dirty socks, and that's not good. Walking around with your socks.
Right.
You ain't thinking you're gonna reveal your socks to everybody when you go to the studio.
Yeah, I'm going to the studio. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, one of the people that worked at the company had on mismatched socks, man.
Right.
When was this?
Yeah. This is back when I was at Bad Boy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't even 2000 yet.
Yeah. It wasn't
smashing it up. Yeah. So hey man,
So and it was really late at night, like 2. I'm talking like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had to do every single note right on the exact note. And then, you know, I was like, okay.
Oh,
And he started comparing me to other singers and saying they hit it right on the note. And every single note had to be right, you know. And so and eventually I was like, yeah, I gotta go home. I can't do this no more. So,
You ain't had no buffer.
yeah. What?
You had somebody be like, hey, you do realize that this is a child, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Artists
What
or not, this
what
is
was it
a
like
fucking
having your
child.
dad as your manager?
Well, yeah, he's a no BSer. You know, you don't.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a no BSer. He's like that. He's just like that in real life.
Right.
Yeah, you don't talk to my dad in a kind of way. You will get cussed out.
Right.
Shout out to
Cussed
Pops.
out.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's like how my dad exact opposite of me. You know, I always grew up kind of timid, but now I'm kind of adapting his stuff. You know,
Yeah.
you know, I'm like
It's like I'm taking
don't
no shit, yeah.
don't talk to me that way.
Right, uh-huh.
And don't touch me either. Don't talk.
Right.
Don't put your hands on me. So, yeah, and I get that from my dad. And I'm kind of glad that he kind of taught me that it's not always good to be timid. Sometimes you got to stand up for yourself. So
Yeah.
Definitely.
definitely do so.
Yeah.
You're going to be a doormat the rest of your life. So,
Yeah.
so. But anyways, yeah, he was always like that. But he was the one that just obliged to say, yeah, we going home, man. And eventually we went up to Puffy. Not Puffy, but Puffy came up to him and said, what's going on? How come y'all why'd y'all go to the studio? Leave the studio. That's his famous producer. And then anyway, he's like, and my dad was like, he told him the situation, and then so our Pierre came down there with us.
Oh, okay.
And then we was like, okay.
And that's when everything started flowing.
And well, Javier was already there, but he came down there with us, and then he started calling our hotel. He's like, "What's going on? It's been 10 hours, like 8-10 hours, and we still haven't been called." And we told him like, oh, "Yeah, man, is this the same thing that we went through before?" So then they kind of realized, okay, yeah, we didn't just up and leave. We didn't
Right,
have a
yeah,
person.
it's like, yeah, I mean,
We
you-
was the producer.
Right.
So people have their egos. You can't assume that just because they're talented or just because they're very famous or that they're very wealthy that they're going to be nice people. Just don't assume that.
Right.
It would be nice, but
yeah, everybody's not gonna be welcoming every time.
Make
Yeah.
a project work, you got to be a cohesive unit.
yeah, exactly. So be careful. You got to be careful about collabing because just because you have the same talent don't necessarily mean you have the same personality.
Right.
That's the problem with groups. That's why I don't really work with a lot of groups and everything. I like being a solo artist, working with a lot of studios, going to a lot of studios. You have personalities of the engineers.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I started working on producers. You have personalities of the
Or
producers.
another person's.
Then
Yeah.
I started saying, I gotta do this on my own. So I started doing my own research, became doing my own writing, doing my own producing, and I'm loving it. Man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it shows. You says you made beats, right? Or you're producing anyways, right?
Yeah, I make a piece. I think if you the best beat I think I made, because it is hit and miss for me for sometimes. 'Cause I like melodies, but sometimes you can make too many melodies in a beat. You gotta be more rhythmic.
Right.
So I had to learn that. But anyways, the best beat that I made was not beat, but it's more like a composition.
Right.
Was Christmas Time Is Here. You can kind of look that up online, and plus I released it on YouTube.
Okay.
Christmas Time Is Here. It's a version of Charlie Brown's Christmas Time Is Here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Christmas Time
Right.
Is Here.
Uh-huh.
And this is kind of like a remake of it. So I did the production for it, sung and arranged it and everything. I didn't mix it. I think I sent it to the mixer, but it turned out real nice. That's kind of like a signature of the type of production I do. So yeah. So it's pretty good.
How far into your debut album did you get before it was shelved?
My debut album?
Yeah. Well,
How far did you get into the recording process before everything happened?
I say it was finished, man. Yeah, it was finished because we was going to release a song called Dear Yvette. And I think it kind of got released because it was released as promos, but it didn't get officially released as a single. So some people say, yeah, I like that Dear Yvette, but a lot of people, some people know it, some people don't. But Dear Yvette, that was actually produced by Heavy D and his camp.
Okay.
But yeah, the track, when we first heard it, it was like, but it actually kind of grows on you after a while, But I kind of like the song now. But anyways, yeah, we was gonna release Dear Yvette, man, and we saw the picture and everything. We had the little single coming out. We had the album was about to be ready to go. So, but I had my little breakdown. I started not having my voice.
Yeah.
Out of the pressure. So, and eventually that's what happened.
Were you ever on tour by chance, man?
No, I didn't get to go on tour. So I never got to go on tour. And I never got to get all the money that people,
Right.
that get when you release your album.
Yeah.
So you was just here for like studio sessions.
Yes,
Like
yeah.
promos
Real
and
good
shit like
studio
that.
sessions, a fire video, and
Never-
remix. Yeah.
Yeah, never got to do the radio shows, drink
Yeah.
champs and stuff like that. I
Right,
never
right.
got
Yeah,
to
baby.
do those.
Yeah, nah, right? You know what I'm saying? We in this
Yeah.
spot. You know what I'm
So
saying?
Did you ever get to do what was your biggest performance?
My biggest performance was San Diego, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because my voice was messing up there, but you know what it was? Is that Puffy? He's like, man, he's kind of trying to, hype me up a little bit, talking about, yeah, get into it. And he did this like little spin and jump down. He's trying to be
Right,
funny.
Right.
So he
I
was
was
on
like,
his,
yeah.
he's on his get him to the Greek.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
trying to be
getting
funny.
there. Yeah.
He's trying to find fucking-
And, I don't know what it was, but that day, that when I went out there and I did that performance and all those big time moguls, it was like a BMI or something.
Oh, yeah.
something like
Yeah, okay. A mixture.
Publishing company or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
one
And
of those
all
big
them,
mixers, yeah,
they
yeah.
all ran to the front when I started performing. And at the end of that performance, I did what Puffy did. I spinned around, and I jumped down, and I did that little thing. They just went nuts. So that was the best performance.
Oh, yeah, that's fire.
But
And that
was
was,
the best
yeah. That's
That hotel was laid out, man. They had the elevator.
Oh, it was a performance.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
hotel.
How was that whole
Yeah.
experience?
Okay, so you know which one? Where you was at?
No, I'm not sure, but I know Deborah Cox.
Oh, okay.
I met Deborah Cox.
Cox too.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, Deborah Cox. I was like, how you doing? I'm a big fan. And it's like, I'm Jerome. She said, oh, hey, I know who you are. I was like, no, you gotta
Oh,
be kidding
what?
me. You don't know who I am.
That got to be great, right?
No, you don't know who I am. You're Deborah Cox. You don't know who Jerome is from Akron, Ohio.
Right.
Hey, that's
yeah.
that's a dream right there.
Yeah, definitely.
Flying. That's what you're doing.
No, that's
Yeah, so I'm saying, how did we get here?
Is there a place that you've always wanted to perform?
Not really, because back then the only places to really perform, they weren't televised. It's the bigger performances were like in tours and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. There wasn't really a serious person. There's places to perform, but I was never a person where I was like, okay, I want to perform at this spot.
If I can get to Madison Square.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I performed. I did sing the national anthem there twice.
Hey,
You sung the national anthem?
Yeah. No, I've seen that a lot. You've done the national anthem, right? Or at least.
Oh yeah. That was my big thing. But in Akron, Ohio, that's where I kind of made a name for myself when I was younger. For when I used to sing at Bookdo's games. Bookdo and Central Howard used to play games all the time, and they used to have the those games were so amazing.
Yeah, man. So if y'all don't know, again, we in the building. You know what I'm saying? Jerome Childers. You know what I'm saying? Y'all heard it here. He said he was at all the Bookdo and Central games singing. Hold it down, man.
Yeah.
Hey, if y'all got some questions, make sure y'all tap in with us.
Yes, sir.
It's a lot of people probably know that because them things used to be packed, man.
Yeah, it was.
They would call me up and one Jerome Childers going to sing national anthem.
Oh yeah.
Sing my little version of national anthem. My version is kind of like Marvin Gaye's version.
Yeah. I would say some of the best versions. Marvin Gaye and Whitney Houston.
Yeah, Marvin Gaye and Whitney. She blows that thing where.
Yeah, Whitney is like nothing else in the world.
Ain't nobody better than that version. She sung that.
They said when she sung it, the national anthem charted. Her version.
Yeah, her version charted. Yeah.
That was
Yeah,
amazing.
because she's amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Probably like
Oh yeah.
she got the strongest voice of all time.
Yeah, all time. I think she is the.
Incredible.
She literally is the best voice in the world. Because even if people can sing as powerful as her.
Right.
do-
Yeah. No one can carry those notes.
Yeah, even if someone
Not that
can do,
long.
even if someone can do the better
Something.
riffs, even if someone can do the higher range, they do
Can't do it all.
not
Can't
sound
do it
like
all.
her.
Yeah, they can't do
They
it
do
all.
not sound like her. And to
that
this
is true.
day, I haven't heard nobody sing "I Will Always Love You" like her. They get
Yeah,
close.
they get close, but they
They
don't
get
never.
close,
Yeah.
but not like Whitney.
You gotta close your eyes and
Yeah.
come back. No.
Yeah, don't do it like Whitney. That note
yeah.
that she hit and run. Oh my God, that Bodyguard album.
Bodyguard, yeah.
Run
yep.
to You.
Yeah, yep. Uh-huh.
Like if you try to
Yeah,
sing
she
those
go-
notes, yeah,
She goes
that
somewhere
girl's
else.
bad, man.
Yeah.
She's bad.
Who are your inspirations in
in the
singing?
music, music, entertainment. All that.
Yes, it's Whitney definitely. She's definitely one of them. Because when I heard that album, I was rocking that. I was trying to sing and everything. So she stretched out my vocal cords. I think her.
Oh, yeah.
And Mariah Carey.
Right,
Yeah,
Carey,
she was like
yeah.
the first song I did. There's a song out. Y'all gotta hear that song, man, because that's like the best climax ever.
Okay.
Best climax ever. Anytime you need a friend.
Okay.
At the end, when she goes to this climax and she does this climax at the end, anytime you need a friend, and then she does this high pitched scream, it is literally you literally get chills up your spine the way she sings. Because she could sing.
It's amazing.
It was her and Mariah. Those were the two female artists that were rocking back in the day.
Oh yeah.
So rest in peace, Whitney. But I think Mariah Carey gonna get it back.
Is there anybody that you like to work with now?
Definitely Silk Sonic, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I love
Bruno
it.
Mars, Anderson .Paak.
Bruno Mars, he's a bad dude.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, that'd be fire to get an Anderson .Paak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, some special things in Akron, man. Y'all
Jerome.
slide through.
Yeah,
hit me up.
Oh yeah.
Man, if they would have called my phone, like, hey man, this is Bruno. You ain't know Bruno Mars. Probably hang up in his face.
Right,
Like,
probably.
I know this dude didn't just hang
I
up.
know he ain't just caught back like this. Yeah, let me make sure. All right.
Okay. I also understand that you are currently getting ready to release a new project. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, here in February, right?
Yeah, February 2022. This year, I'm going to be releasing Phases of Love, and it's gonna be on. I'm trying to release it on iTunes. But, sometimes that stuff is hard to do.
Right.
But yeah, I'm trying to release the Phases of Love on iTunes. My cover, the CD cover is still being made in graphics, and she said she'll have it by next week. So I'm hoping to come back and promote it, man.
Definitely get you in the booth or something, man.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man.
Definitely.
I don't think my mic's that bad. You might want to do something like right here live.
Oh yeah, you know.
See, what's the one that they like? Walk the Walk. I think they like that one. I know a girl want to be in a picture. She wants another lover who is not of her class. She says that she wants a good guy, but when he's standing in front of her eyes, she denies.
Hey.
Say you want a better man. You want him to be your best friend. Those are all the things you talk. But I'm standing there as a friend, and you say I'm not your type of man. Maybe you should walk the walk with me.
Hey. Yeah, man. You know who that is, right? Y'all better reach out, man. That is still, you heard him. You still got them vocals, man. So I know y'all should tap in and get them features, man. Y'all should definitely start getting them on y'all projects and stuff. I should be reaching out to you. If somebody did want to get you and like try to book you for some features or a performance or anything, how would they reach out to you?
Childers Jerome at yahoo.com. It's hard to spell, so CHIL D as in dog ERS JEROM as in Mary E at yahoo.com. It's basically my name, Jerome Childers, reverse. Childers Jerome at yahoo.com. So just send me an email.
Yep. And you pretty much on every social media platform, pretty much, right? TikTok is your thing, you said right now?
Yeah, I was rocking like 5 of them things, man, but I had to limit it down.
Yeah, you gotta kind of, it
was getting
before you know it, you laughing at cat videos for 2 hours.
Plus, it's just hard.
That's why I don't have it.
I don't blame you.
Say Twitter is like Pornhub and shit. I'm always gonna say that Twitter is Pornhub.
Twitter is definitely the
Pornhub.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
As soon as you log into Twitter, it'd be ass everywhere. It's like, damn, okay, cool.
It's Tuesday, so I know it's crazy.
It's
today
Sunday morning. I gotta log out.
I gotta log out, man. I'm trying to do right today.
It's not just Twitter, man. They do it on TikTok. They always send me stuff. The girls, they send you the pictures. They bent over and showing all this. But you don't click on that stuff, man. Because I never click on that stuff anyway. But what they do is what they want to do is
they clickbait you,
they
spam you in and get you in.
Get all your information. Next thing you know, they sending you all kinds of money. Taking money out your card,
taking money off of your.
You got to call your bank to get them to stop the stuff. So don't do that, man.
Just stay away from them.
I've never done it, but that's what they do on those websites.
You gotta be
when
safe.
you give them your credit card information.
Is it with that? Send me 100 and I get you 5,000.
Yeah.
I
always use PayPal, man, if you can. Don't ever get your credit card number.
But unless you got a good bank, PayPal is the way to go, especially business, man.
I don't like paying online at all anyway.
Man.
Because you don't know where it's coming out. You don't know when it's coming out. You can't really budget the way you want to.
What you're doing,
Is there anything that you would do differently if you could do it all over again?
I'll do it at a later age. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do that at a later age because you need to know the difference between what's good and what's bad.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Right.
you can't be thinking that that's the way life is because that's why I literally thought that that's the way my life was supposed to be.
For the rest
That
of
me-
your
that messed my mind up. It really did.
Yeah,
It messed my mind up for a while. So, you know, I got back together and I really realized, you know, I dig deep down. I figured out what my experiences was and what was causing it.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I'm just better than ever.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, we looking forward to these new projects and stuff, man, coming out and everything. I know we got probably a bunch of questions we done probably skipped over. So, is there anything that you
want to hit? Any
I'm about to
questions
say,
that you want to hit?
you know, for the city, can you let everybody know what side of town you actually from?
Yeah, you said you grew up on Rhodes and
Roslyn.
Roslyn. Yeah,
Roslyn.
Yeah, I'm
back
from
in
the.
day.
I grew up on the west side of Akron. I grew up on Roslyn Avenue. It's near Greenwood. Greenwood. You know, Orlando, that type of area, Mineola.
Yeah.
Right down the street. Right down the street from Brookdale High School. That's my sister.
Oh yeah.
But
Over the hill.
an interesting story I want to tell is that Savannah, LeBron's wife, lived right down the street from me, four houses down.
Oh,
Yeah.
Savannah James.
Yeah,
Man.
that was a famous street. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before we even knew, it was already popping.
And that was before I went to St. Vincent St. Mary and knew LeBron James, who was ahead of me. And it was crazy. You knew who I was, man.
Oh,
He
he
said,
did?
yeah. He said one thing. I think he said one thing, you know, because it was like 2 or 3 years after I got released, and he said something. Man, joke. He's like, yeah, that's how Puffy. And I was like, wait a minute, Puffy? Like, how you know me? Like, how'd you know that? You know, and that was before he got famous, though, because I saw him come up. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, he started getting newspapers coming there, pictures coming and stuff, and people taking pictures and stuff, and I literally saw his come up.
Oh yeah,
before
that's
he-
dope. So that means pretty much after you left Bad Boy and everything, you came back and went to school here.
I left Bad Boy, came back, went to school here. I think I finished St. Vincent's. No, I finished that book though. I started at St. Vincent. I finished that book though.
Okay.
And then I went to University of Akron, got my bachelor's in international business.
Yeah, fluent in 5 languages,
yeah.
proficient in 2 or 3.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Spanish, French, German, Italian. I speak a little Chinese too.
Oh yeah, that's what's up.
But I also got my master's in marketing online at North Central University.
Yeah, dope.
Yep.
Definitely, man.
And one more question. If there is any type of advice or anything you would like to say to any aspiring artist that's coming up, what would you say?
You know, something I learned about social media is that a lot of people are using it as a platform to promote their music. But I think what people have to realize is that social media is really initially for like the word socializing.
Right.
People come on there to talk to each other and to interact. So if you want to push your music on social platforms, it's a lot of people on there, and it's very unlikely that you'll get noticed amongst all those people unless they have some sort of promotion deal.
Right.
So I think you need to set aside some money to do the promotion deal. If
Yeah.
you're gonna be on like TikTok or
Pay for
Twitter,
promotions,
or
yeah.
YouTube kind of has it now, but I don't even mess with that because I didn't
Right.
get that much on that when I did that promotion. So it's more like TikTok and Instagram. So
Yeah.
I think you need to set aside some money for promotion on maybe like TikTok and Instagram to get your stuff noticed. Maybe even SoundCloud too.
Right. So definitely have a budget for your projects.
Just think of it as promotion and marketing for your music, and just set aside like a budget for promotion if you want to push that stuff. LinkedIn is pretty good too.
Yeah.
Because you can post a lot of stuff. You know,
And
they don't really have a lot of promotion on there, but it's a lot of good networking on there. A lot of people you can talk to. You just chat it up with people that do the same stuff that you
Definitely. Yeah, I met some pretty good people on LinkedIn, believe it or not, that helped me with some of this stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that. LinkedIn is it seems strange because it's like a job site technically, but but you got to think like a lot of the people are in this, you know what I'm saying? They do entertainment or you know what I'm saying, whatever. So
Technically not a job site. It's more of like
it's like a job
networking
resume.
site.
It's like a job resume site. You
Networking
just
site.
you just boast your shit, and then people be like, "Hey, see, you got a big dick." You know what I'm saying?
Now you swing
on LinkedIn. What the fuck?
It's like, it says here.
Yeah, it's
like,
pretty much, man.
I think you think about the wrong LinkedIn. I don't think I saw that one.
I don't know. Yeah. LinkedIn, Tinder.
Tinder.
Nah, I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you. Yeah, Tinder link. You're right.
Our podcast over here, a lot of times we get comparisons to Drink Champs.
Yeah, to a lot
Drink
of
Champs? Oh, yeah.
Shout out to
Yeah, man, Nori. Yeah,
Shout out to
man.
Nori, man.
who I
He's
know
good
you
dude.
had.
DJ Effin.
You had the remix.
Yeah.
The remix of your debut single, You're Too Old For Me, had Nori on it in 98. Nori was
Yeah.
what was it like to work with Nori? What was he like in person when y'all was vibing for the video or whatever?
He was real good people. You know, he talked to me. When he talked to me, he wasn't disrespectful, rude. Seemed like he was cool people. When we had that little line and I wear you. And I wasn't that, and I'm a good actor. I think I'm a good actor now. That little line I did, he worked on me with it. You know, we kind of went back and forth.
And practiced a little bit.
Practiced,
yeah,
you know, and he said you could tell that he was good people. So
I figured he was gonna come in. What up, done?
Yeah,
hype and shit. You know,
it was. What y'all don't know, it was so cold. I mean, that's literally the coldest I've ever been in my entire life. That's how. That time it was, huh?
You from Ohio, and that's the coldest you've ever been?
That's the coldest I've been.
On the Atlantic Ocean, right on the ocean.
Yeah.
That shit is different.
Yeah, well, it was, and it was crazy because it wasn't no snow or anything, but it was so cold.
Yeah. These last couple of days, I've been feeling like that.
Yeah, you gotta be careful too, cause them bodyguards, they don't play around too. Cause I got a little scared because this one dude came across the street, but I didn't know he's from the. I thought he's from the crew, from one of the crew members. He's like, "Hey man, what's up?" I was like, "Hey, how you doing?" So I was like, "So I think I asked him, so how long you work here?" He's like, "Oh, I don't work here. I'm from across the street." So I kind of looked. I was like, "Whoa, like what you doing?" And right when I did that, all of a sudden you see this big old bodyguard coming over. And he kind of talking.
What you over here doing?
He kind of put his arm around him, kind of whispered to him, and they say, they
sent him on about his business.
Sent him on about his business. So they don't play.
Like, yeah, bro, I don't know what you're doing, but you don't get yourself hurt.
Yeah.
Don't get hurt out here.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, man. Let's see. We asked about those. Where you at? Oh yeah, this is a good question. I mean, it's not really a good question, but you know what I'm saying. Your debut song was about being in love with a woman that was a tad bit older. So we got to ask, in the world of entertainment, like, was you out here? Did you get to knock off some pretty women that was a little bit older?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I had my few, but I know I wasn't in the older women.
Right. Yeah. Most people was around your age and everything.
Yeah.
Was you shooting your shot?
Was you at least, because I knew a couple of them old girls batted their eyes a little bit, like, go ahead, sing for me one time.
Total. You used to run a lot of females at Bad Boys.
Yeah. You get some online though that be trying to. They be trying to. I've got a couple that don't go on that website. The first thing they want to do. Oh, you're so handsome. Next thing you know, a couple weeks later, they asking you for money.
Yeah, please check me.
Yeah. Why don't you sheet the bill? And they're like, okay, block.
Right,
Delete.
Yeah, y'all. So stop fucking doing that, y'all. Leave the man alone, bro. If y'all like him for who he is.
All three of y'all.
You know what I'm saying? All of y'all.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Favorite cartoon?
Yeah, man. As a kid, man, growing up in the industry, traveling around and stuff, you probably didn't get to catch all the cartoons, right? But like, I'm sure you had a favorite.
My favorite cartoon. Well, first we gotta give it to the classic cartoon of all, which is Lion King. Lion King, that is the classic. When I saw that movie, that was a classic.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that.
Yeah, front to back. Yeah.
Boom, Matata.
Hell yeah! I'm about to say when Clubhouse first jumped off or whatever, there was a crew of people who did like a reenactment. They had I don't know, every person on the staff pretty much. It was people pretending to be everybody, and they did it voice acting live. It was pretty dope, man. I don't really tune into social media like that. I spent the whole 2 hours sitting here listening to people pretend to be the Lion King.
And I will give one more advice too.
He was fire.
I will give one more advice too. It's just it's something that's kind of been on my mind. It's just that you probably see a lot of those documentaries out there about artists that are saying that the music business is the devil and all this other stuff.
Right.
And I will say that there is some truth to that, because some people, it's not that I'm not gonna say that devil stuff. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
but I'm saying that there is some truth to the negativity of selling yourself.
You're literally selling yourself.
Yeah, you're when you put yourself out there as an artist and as a performer, you are the brand.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to be the brand, you probably should do something behind the scenes.
Yeah.
You really should, because if you don't want people to be in your business, because at the end of the day, you can get mad at people talking about you all the time, but if you're putting yourself out there as the product,
right, you have to be prepared for that.
You have to be prepared for that.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's
just make
always
that
somebody
decision
who
for
takes it a
yourself.
little too far. Right?
Yeah.
Occasionally.
Yeah, so you just have to be prepared for that.
Yeah, so as an artist, right? Like, how did you mentally prepare yourself? Or, you know what I'm saying? For the, like you said, there's always going to be that one person who push the button. So
exactly.
how did you get yourself out of, or did you train yourself from not looking at those type comments? Or
I kind of what I'm really doing is trying to get my foot in the door, because like I want to do the behind the scenes things. I want to do writing and producing, because I can write and I do produce. So I would love to do that full time, so that you can live a personal life. But the thing is, with my singing, or with my arranging, and with my background, I have an edge that other writers and producers don't have. So that's what I'm hoping. Right. I'm hoping strongly that I could use that as an edge to get my foot in the door.
Right.
But a lot of people do that, and people say, "Oh, he fell off." No, he's living his life, and he's still making money behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. Yeah.
So you're open to writing for artists and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I want to write hooks, but I can write hooks for rappers. I can write songs for R&B singers. But the type of rap that I do, I will say this is I like poetic type rappers.
Right. Yeah.
Like Most Def. Common.
Yeah, you're in the right building.
Yeah, those are,
you're in the right building. You are in the right building.
Yeah.
Trust me, you are in the right building.
No, those type
you know
of
what I'm saying? We got you know what I'm saying, some guys who do that.
Yeah, Lauryn Hill. She's the one that hooked me on to rap. 'Cause I was just fooling R&B.
Yeah, Lauryn Hill.
But when I heard the Miseducation Lauryn Hill, I was like, oh, I'm feeling hip hop now.
Have you ever had a chance?
I'm feeling hip hop now. No, I didn't. I wish I could have.
That's that lady.
That girl was bad. 'Cause I started looking at the words.
It's like
Yeah.
Lauryn Hill,
My favorite one is my favorite one is The Final Hour. Y'all ever heard that one?
Oh yeah, yep.
Keep your eyes on The Final Hour.
Yeah.
You can get the money.
Yeah,
you can get the power. Yeah. That's my favorite one. I like that one.
Definitely.
Well, I have a question. When was the last time you heard from Puffy, or are y'all still in contact? And would you be willing to still work with him if the opportunity presented itself?
Take that.
Well, unfortunately, after my breakdown,
Right. Right, yeah.
Yeah, but as far as working with him, I don't know. I mean, I might, do a song or something, but I don't think I'm gonna sign.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, after my breakdown, I haven't heard a song down in the line. I haven't heard from him since. So yeah, but as far as working with him,
Heard, all of us.
I don't know. I mean, I might,
Puff
do a song or something, but I don't think I would.
His business acumen and whatnot.
Have you ever experienced anything personally that rubbed you the wrong way from Puff?
Maybe a song down the line, maybe. Who knows?
Either or. Yeah, either or. Because you might have probably seen something that was like, holy shit.
Well, yeah.
Versus.
Well, there's a little stuff here and there,
Right.
I like the way Craig Mack came in the studio. Personally, business, or just personally that I witnessed? I just didn't appreciate that at all. Okay.
Damn. Yeah, because Craig Mack is a legend.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
For him?
Well, yeah, I think. Well,
They were in there just being like super.
Could you elaborate a little
and
bit?
like the way Craig Mack.
Without, what I'm saying, too much.
As much as you can.
Yeah, don't throw yourself under the bus or nothing, but yeah.
He's just pushing his music.
Yeah.
Disrespect for Craig Mack. I didn't.
Oh yeah.
Because of his music.
Right. Yeah. Well, just him.
Oh, because it was him.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Couldn't have been nothing with the music.
Yeah,
Man,
like-
make great music.
I mean, that guy's great.
They kind of ridicule him.
Yeah, but you're right.
Did you ever meet Black Rob?
Yes, I did.
Hey.
What was that like? R.I.P. Black Rob.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was just him and Jerome.
Yeah, at that show. Yeah.
Oh, that is dope.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Talk a
That
little bit
whole
about that.
experience.
He was cool, and I met him at another place because it was funny. I was doing like a radio drop because sometimes they do these radio drops.
Yes, I did.
You know, like they say, he was a good dude. He was a good dude. Yeah.
Yeah, the
I actually
drops,
met him
yeah.
at San Diego, man. Yeah, that show. Yeah, he performing.
Yeah.
He was cool, and I met him at another place because it was
welcome to
funny.
the-
I was
yeah,
doing like a radio drop. Sometimes they do these radio drops. They say, okay, you know, like they say, hey, yo, what's up? This is yeah. You listening to Rihanna on you know, these WZA, whatever, you know, or you listen to Chris Brown or Mario or whatever, you know. Welcome. So I was doing a little drop, and I think Black Rob was in the studio, and he's kind of talking to me and my dad, and I could hear him. He's like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Any other Bad Boy artists that you
And we was trying to figure out what the song was, and then we finally got to this one song, and it's like, Here You Dead. So I was like, yeah, that's it. And I was talking to him down the stage.
No. Okay.
Tanya Blunt, I talked to
Tanya Blunt. Yeah.
I met them all, really, man.
Yeah.
I read 112,
We rocked that
met
stuff.
Toto, all of them. I met Carl Thomas, Tanya Blunt. Carl Thomas. I met him a whole bunch of times. I met Tanya Blunt. I talked to Bad Boy. Mel Bivens.
Yeah. I was going to ask you that earlier too. Yeah. You cross paths. Yeah, right.
Kelly Price, she's a writer before she was singing. She's writing for me before she blew up. And I also like to say too that before Bad Boy, the dude Mel Bivens from Bell Bivens DeVoe. He.
Hey, look, we got chili.
Yeah, I crossed paths. Got Constantine Hope, and I met so many people all at one time.
Yeah. Were you ever? Did you ever have like any acting acumen? Did you want to choose to or do any type of any type of acting?
Yeah. I met Jason Weaver. I met
Oh yeah, well yeah, in your playwrights. Okay.
I mean, like I said, it's a fantasy. It's like, who does that happen to? Because, you know, you basically sing and act, and that's what I did. And I did this song. You know, I did have some experience acting that I really liked. I did Paul.
Okay.
Yeah, I did I did a play called Paul, and it's basically kind of like a gospel opera because, you know, what you do is you basically sing and act, and then that's what I did. And I did this song called "Be God for Me" on a gospel album, and I still have it. I'm gonna let y'all listen to it.
Yeah.
You know, when I converted. But at the end, there's a song called "Be God for Me," and I just got a lot of praise for it. I played a character called John Mark. The play is about Paul. I think he started off as Saul, and then he was killing Christians, and then he got converted.
Okay.
He came to me when I came vision, and then I had to translate to Paul. And John Mark was kind of rocking with him, kind of trying to do the promote the gospel. And there was a scene where
Okay.
the fight.
No concept.
So did that help
So the
you?
thing is,
You know what I'm
when I came
saying?
back, I was,
Post, you know what I'm saying?
Solo, right?
Leaving Bad Boy.
you know, I was praying to God about my fears, saying, you know, my darkest times, my fears, be God for me. You know, watching minimalism, my clearest view is when I look to you in my pain.
Okay.
So, you know, I think a lot of people
Yeah, relates.
That's deep.
Yeah, it did. It's pretty crazy.
They pay. Right. Yeah,
you know, they don't see correction until they see in my darkest times.
No.
God for me. You know, I think one of them say,
Right. Yeah.
my clearest view
Pain is
is
his
when I look
best teacher.
Yeah. It's always his best teacher.
So,
Yeah.
you know, I think a lot of people,
Yeah.
you know, they don't see God until they see,
work with,
until
or
they see the
aspire to work
pain.
with, or
Yeah.
any gospel
They don't
artist who
see
inspires you
the
to get
correction
involved.
until they see the
Gospel
pain. You don't learn when you're happy. You learn when you're sad. Like, it's pain is the best teacher. It's your correction. And it is.
No.
So I think the main person I like was well, if you hear the type of runs I do, you know, I mean, I used to like Kim Burrell or
See, we like an hour and 17 minutes in on this interview, man. Let's shout out to a couple people again. How can the people find you?
I think the main person you can find me on TikTok.com at Jerome Childish. You can find me on Instagram at Instagram.com Jerome _Childish 8511. On YouTube. Well, you can find me on TikTok. So it's TikTok.com. You can find Jerome Childers. You can find me on Instagram. That's Instagram.com. Jerome.
Album dropping here in February.
Childers 85. You can find me on YouTube. YouTube.com. That's Stacey 511. You can find me on Twitter.
Yeah, man. Support your own, man.
Show the support, man.
Yeah, man.
And we also, again, as we've been promoting, we've been talking about.
Dropping on February 2023. You can find me on iTunes.
225, February 25th is a Friday. We're having a Tiny Desk concert.
Yeah, Tiny Desk concert.
Only $7.99.
Hopefully,
we would be
in the bargain.
elated to have. Well,
$7.99.
We would be elated to have you come through.
Yeah.
And
honored, my man.
Bless our stage, man. And
yeah. You know, definitely, man. Yeah, we're gonna have some nice poetry in here. It's a real private, you know what I'm saying, laid back event. It's gonna be pretty nice, man. Mood thing, like, you know what I'm saying, black lights and candles and stuff. Yeah,
whole vibe, man.
Yeah, man. Thanks again, man, for coming out and showing some support, man. You know what I'm saying, you are one of the Akron legends in this motherfucker, man. Believe it or not, man. You know what I'm saying. Everybody, we definitely gonna clap it up. You know what I'm saying? He was on plays. He traveled. He has been everywhere, man. There's a lot of accolades that I'm missing right now because I'm just running through them in the top of my head. But like one of Akron's legends, man.
One of Akron's legends.
You know what I'm saying? So thanks again for coming out, man, for showing the support to us, man.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Anybody you want to shout out before we get up out of here?
Shout out to my dad, Sally Childers, my mother.
Talk about your mama.
Yeah, shout out to my sister, Michelle Childers. Thank you. I appreciate it. Shout out to thank you. Simone Scott. I gotta mention my half sister. Shout out to my dad, Stanley Childers, my mother, Desiree Childers. Yeah, shout out to my sister, Michelle Childers.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Let's cue something up before we get up out of here, man. All right, hold on.
There's a lot of shit that go on in this motherfucker. A lot of shit. A whole lot of things that you would never want to see, man.
All right.
Now I'm gonna leave on this note here. Like I said, you got one foot on the banana peel.
For Flow Radio.
The other foot sliding towards somebody's motherfucking institution. Or inside somebody's motherfucking cemetery. Listen, the choice is yours,
yeah, man, we got our special guest in this motherfucker, Jerome Childers.
And most of all, remember this shit. The life you may save,
we got the
just make me your motherfucking own, man.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Thanks a lot again for everybody for showing up, man. And again, dog, we ending the show with what?
Dear Yvette.
Dear Yvette. That's Jerome Childers, man. Akron's own, man. So make sure y'all support him. Get in this inbox, start booking him, get these motherfucking shows, start booking this goddamn shits now.